start taking Arabic on the side, right? So another important thing from this is that you see that when you make a plan, it shouldn't just be for your career goals. It should be for other things you want to do. You want to do a Hifz al-Quran, you want to do Arabic, you want to study abroad. Put everything in there, because you are a resource, and everyone's a multifaceted person. So, a lot of people are like, again, right, very serial, right? Oh, my career starts after I graduate, right? But that's not the case. There's a lot of opportunities at UCI and abroad, outside as well. So, I can talk about my experiences in all of these afterwards for a short amount of time. But I can definitely tell you from experience, the more time you put into any one of these opportunities, the more you're going to get out of it. I know a lot of people, they're doing some cloud just put on their resume or application or something, but over the span of your lifetime, you really want to do things that are really meaningful, right? You just don't want to do a bunch of small things. Rather do a few more meaningful things, because they really pay off. For instance, I did research for a couple of years, and I could really say throughout my undergrad life or college life, doors. Every time I did something, it opened another door, opened up another door, opened up another door. So I took a couple classes and I thought I was an engineer, and then I really wasn't. So that opened up the doors for me to do some research, right? I knew a little about engineering, so I could do a little bit of research. Not great research, but okay research. After that, probably my first year and a half, whatever I did just was horrible. I threw it in the trash. But I learned a lot from it, and that opened up another door, and that helped me get an internship at a company. And then that itself helped me, go on to get a full-time offer from that company. So what you'll see is that you might think a lot of these things are insignificant, but these things have a significant impact on where you end up in life. And you might say, oh, okay, I'm a journalist, so I should help out at the New U or Al-Kalima. I would say that you shouldn't isolate yourself just to that. Oh, there's Al-Kalima? There we go.
Coming back.
But these opportunities are really good. So let's say you're a journalist, but you want to do research, right? Because you know nothing about it. You might discover something about yourself that you like. It might affect you, and you might end up taking a different career path in life. Or, you might be a horrible teacher, but you're like, okay, let's try being a TA or something, just for the heck of it. And you might really like it. So I think the biggest thing you can do is there's really lessons you can learn from every opportunity that you have at UCI, no matter what your background is. Okay. Okay, so a couple things you can do to prepare yourself. First thing you really need to do is make sincere dua to Allah with a firm conviction that will be accepted. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that said, when you make a dua, know that three things could occur. Either it will be accepted, Allah will give you something better in the next life, or a calamity will be taken away from you in your path. And trust me, I can tell you from experience, making sincere dua makes a huge difference. Not just saying, give me a cheeseburger, if you want a cheeseburger, make a real sincere dua. It's a huge difference. I've seen doors open for me just out of the blue, just I get a phone call and it's like, oh, why don't you come in for an interview? I'm like, who are you? And I was like, you submitted your resume like 6 months ago. I'm like, I did? Okay, I ended up getting that job too, right? So, you'll be surprised of how things work out if you really have a good intention of what you want to do. One thing, like some people mentioned, is you have a lot of business cycles where companies hire and they lay off, hire and lay off. So first thing that companies try to do during when they're downsizing is they'll try to get their best people, and let's say your position is closing in a company, your department's closing. What they'll try to do is try to move you into somewhere else. So having just interdisciplinary skills is really important at work. So let's say you're an engineer, and but you're really good at writing, for instance. Then they might let you become like a technical writer, for instance, or they might let you go into quality engineering, things like that. So, but on the flip side, also make sure that wherever they're moving you to, it also meets your goals for at that your career goals as well. Okay. Another thing is always have ambitious goals, but have moderate expectations. I've seen some brothers who they just got out of school and they're like, I want to become a manager or something. I'm like, you spent the last 20 years just managing, barely yourself, right? How are you going to become a manager and manage all these people, right? Again, it's really good to have ambitious goals, but what I've seen is some people that are like, I want this job, and no matter what, if I don't get, I won't settle for anything else. Well, the way things really work out is, in a lot of places, especially if you don't have experience, you really have to prove yourself. So you have to earn the respect of your employer. So you might start off with a position that may not be what your goals are, but maybe in a year or two, positions open up, and you can jump into that. So what are the fiqh of your trade? So Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu would actually require the business people in the market to learn the fiqh of business dealings. So especially like there's a lot of positions out there, especially like in the finance area, where you're dealing with riba, you're dealing with interest, and a lot of things that go against Islamic principles. It's basically the Islamic law, right? The understanding of Islamic rules. So
jurisprudence.
Exactly. Someone's going to ask what's jurisprudence. Okay. So yeah, so especially like if you're like let's say you're in sales, right? You want to learn how to be an honest salesman. If you're in finance, you want to try to find a position that doesn't deal with riba. You want to do something that deals more with investments, for instance. Okay. Finally, learn to give dawah. Become a da'i, because you know how they say like Orange County is the most conservative county, right, in California? I didn't realize that until I went to work. I swear there's people that all they do is watch Fox News. I was like scared out of my life, They saw me and they're like, my boss, when he hired me, he asked me, he's like, what are you? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, are you Jewish? No. I'm like, look, I'm brown. So what you'll see when you go to corporations, that you'll meet people from all over the spectrum, right? So, there's like a statistic that even like brother Shama Ayush always mentions in his khutbah, is that right now like we have about 20% of Americans have a positive view of Islam, right? 60% have a negative view, and then of that 60%. If they ever meet a Muslim, 60% of 60% have a positive view. They flip over once they meet a Muslim. So if you run the numbers, if all of us did the proper da'wah that we should in this community, we could have like 55% positive view of Islam in this country, which is really, close to Christianity, which is only 60%. So you can see that da'wah can have a big influence on the way people think in this country, and also shape the policy of this country. And so that would, in effect, improve the condition of our Muslim brothers and sisters across the world as well. Alright, so I have 30 seconds. Okay, so what to expect? First thing that might be a shocker to you is that book smart's only getting you your first job. So like if you remember like high school, you study for the SAT and AP exams and such forth, and that just helped you get into college. After that, it's like essay what? We don't know. It wasn't a big deal after that, right? The same thing here. All the hard work that you put in, it basically gets you into your first job. And every step in life, you really have to prove yourself over and over again. So once you're in your first job, you have to work hard and be a team worker, and become valuable asset for the company, and that's how you grow. Okay. So like I said before, it is tough.